Hey, what is going on, guys? Alright, so here we have the Master Grade Blitz Gundam, and I know it's a black Gundam on black background, so I'm going to try to up the brightness a little bit, so mess with the editing so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But with it being a black Gundam, and depending on how you're ultimately going to be displaying on your shelf or wherever, the concept of this Gundam just sort of like fading into the background due to the fact that it's black is something that you might want to consider. You know, if you have a very dark display space like this or something, putting this very black kit in there is not going to be very easily seen. But that said, I think the design is really cool. I think it looks really great in black, and the highlights there of the red and the purple, the light lavender color there, I guess I should say, and then a little tiny bit of yellow there on a couple of the parts looks really awesome. I think this kit looks fantastic. Now, there were a couple of little problems along the way, along building it, and I'll tell you more about those here in a moment, but overall, really fun kit and just really cool. The cool factor on this kit is, I think, what's going to sell it the most. But let's get into it, guys. Again, big thank you to ZakuAurelius there in the Philippines for hooking me up with this kit. Check the link to their site there down below if you're interested in seeing what they've got available on their store. Alright, so what all you get included with the kit here, we have a few foil stickers. Basically just going to be one for the eyes, one red one there for the head camera, another one there for the camera at the back of the head, and there's another one on the weapons, as well two red metallic stickers there and there for those parts. That said, all of those parts are all actually clear parts, so if you didn't want to put those stickers on there, you just want to use the clear parts, those are there. But you do have one more little sticker here, this little foil sticker, that yellow little triangle there on the front of the cockpit hatch. And you do also have a set of sticker decals, of which I just threw one of them on here just to show you guys how it's going to look, and they aren't going to look good. I mean, these stickers never look good on a really dark plastic like this, so these really aren't going to be all very useful for this guy. I wouldn't really bother putting these on. But the dry transfers that you get included here, on the other hand, should look perfectly fine once those are on. I haven't put any of them on here yet, because I'll save these for once the kit is actually painted, but you do have some nice dry transfers included there as well. Alright, and then for accessories, we've got an action base adapter. We got two pilot figures of Nicole here, one just kind of standing there in his pilot uniform looking cool, and another one just actually just sitting down, which is nice. It's always nice to have something a little bit more interesting than just the kind of standing pilot figure like that, so it's cool you get two. You have the second one that should be good for making some cool diorama or vignette or something. Then for the hand options, it's just swappable fingers here, so you've got a set of closed fists. You also have a set of trigger fingers and open extended fingers, and then regular holding fingers. Now, a couple of these were actually X'd off in the parts list and not meant to be used, but I'm just showing you that you guys do have all of these. And you've got two clear pink beam saber effect parts, but you're actually really only going to need one, and that is for here for the shield, the Decals shield. It's really cool. The color separation on that is really nice. The white separate part there and the little yellow part there at the end. Be a little bit careful with that because that seems like that might fall out very easily. So maybe just a drop of glue on that. And that's not the only part that you're going to have to be careful with. So I'll come back to talking a little bit more about that later. But you are going to probably want to use a little bit of glue on this kit just to make sure you have a couple of little touchy parts that you're gonna have to worry about. Anyway, the beam saber handle is actually here, inside here, so you could use this just attached into it like that, or you can use the beam saber effect part. It usually helps to kind of pull this out, but if not, I'll just have to push it out. There you go. That can actually be taken out, and you can actually just hold this as a normal beam saber if you want as well. But then of course the shield just works as usual. You have an arm mount over here that in theory could fold out and turn around, but it's actually just meant to just be there like that. So that's going to plug into the side of the arm, and then you're going to have the hand grip onto this handle. So actually to do that, you're supposed to take this part off and put this in the hand first, then connect this all to the shield all at once. And then you have these little guys, which you've seen. I'm kind of like struggling to keep them in there. They're not super strong in their connection in there, or I'm not doing something right, but they sit in there fine, and they're not going to, I don't think they're going to fall out. They're kind of held in there, but they're not super tight. So again, might want to glue those if you want to just make sure that they're not going anywhere. But if you do want them to go somewhere, you can pull those out and use these in hand as well. Just have them holding onto this, or just throwing it, or just stabbing with someone with it, or whatever you want to do. So you've got some options. And then of course this whole thing just acts as a beam rifle as well. Now the very tip of the beam rifle there should be gray. Kind of wish that that would have been a separate gray part. I think that that wouldn't be too much to ask for a master grade, but unfortunately it's not. So you may want to just go ahead and paint the little tip of the beam rifle in there in gray. That would just help that look a little bit nicer. But overall, really cool weapon. It looks really nice, and it's quite large. there. But that's not all. He does also have the this grapple thing that attaches onto his arm, and it can actually attach on either the left or the right. It's kind of meant to be on the left, but it can go either way. Now the little wings on the side of here do have a little bit of movement. Those can kind of open and close like that. The red wings don't move at all, and the thruster bells are on little ball joints, but those don't actually move around anywhere. Now the claw bits here at the front, of course, can open up like that, so that's really cool. You do have a seam line on these though, on this middle section, not the end. The end, this tip part is all one solid piece, but this part here is two parts sandwiched together, so you've got a little seam line going down the middle of that. But closed up, it looks pretty cool. I find though it's not quite as long and pointy looking as it looks in the illustration in the manual, so I kind of wish it was a little bit closer to that original illustration. This one's a little bit shorter and fatter. But either way, it still does look really cool. So that just attaches onto the arm, and then that can shoot out of the arm like that. And then you've got this nice yellow wire and a couple of little parts you'll attach onto the ends of that, and to kind of plug that through and just hook it there a little bit at the end, I guess. That plugs into the back there, and then that can be holding it out away from the arm like that. Now I'm not sure how secure that is ultimately going to be. He's really going to be able to pull that off. We'll do a quick test here just to check. Well, I'll try some other poses here in a little bit, but just straight out from the arm is gonna be sagging like that. Now, as you might expect, that's just not too surprising. You have the arm straight out, so the arm is fine. It's not getting weighed down at all. It's just here in the wire. But I think if you're clever with it, you know, get it maneuvered in a certain way, then it's gonna look fine. It can hold it up actually pretty well, so it's not all that bad. But that is it for his accessories. So let's talk a little bit about his articulation and a couple of little problem areas. So the first thing, let's just go in here for the head. The head will go up to there, which is not bad. You can get a pretty good upward look there, and then down all the way to there, no problems with that. For the cockpit hatch, this does open up like so, and up inside there we do have a seated pilot figure as well. Gonna be a little bit hard to see, but simple enough cockpit opening hatch there. Let's just head straight back here to the backpack, and this is where I had the most problems getting this kit put together. So first off, these little vents here and here, those are glued into place, because if those aren't glued into place, they just fall back like into the main body there. There's nothing really holding them here in place, so you have to put together the kit really carefully. And even still, later on, they're going to just fall back into the body there, because behind there, there's just nothing really holding them in place. It's kind of weird that Bandai didn't sort that out, but I just had to put a little drop of glue on there just to hold them in place temporarily, because I will need to take the kit apart again later when it comes time to paint it. But those, and then these parts here up inside the lavender part, this center part, kept falling out on me. It seems like it's stuck in there now, so I think you just have to keep pushing it in until you get it just right in the right place, and then it'll stay. Then these little gray parts here at the bottom, these also do tend to fall off kind of easily if you touch them the wrong way. So those little black parts there, glue those in. This little gray part here on the bottom, glue that. And then this part here in the center, you know, get it to where it's tight, but you may want to just put a little bit of glue on that as well, just in case. Anyway, as for the movement here on the backpack, some parts do move. The center part will move up and down a little bit, and these parts here will also move up and down a little bit like that, and also a little bit to the left and the right. I think I may have put them on backwards, because I'm seeing that it's moving more towards the center, when I think that should be on the other side, moving maybe out the other way. But anyway, those do have a little bit of side-to-side movement for those. The other interesting thing to point out is that this suit, unlike the other ones in this series, the backpack connection for this, because it's not really technically a backpack, kind of, it's just like the back of the body. It's a different sort of design. So while the other suits all share a similar style backpack connector, so that you can actually switch the backpacks on them, do a little bit of customizing if you want, this one doesn't have that, so you won't be able to switch the backpack to a different like AL Strike pack or something like that if you wanted to. But anyway, onto the shoulders. So the shoulders will pull out to the front a little bit like that. Not really a whole lot, but you do have a little bit of forward movement there. And as many were so kind to point out, the opening gimmick here in the shoulders for the Mirage Colloid effect or ability that this mobile suit has. So here, this part on the end, you'll pull that out a little bit like that. That slides out, and then this part here you can fold up like that, and then the mechanical detail in there, I guess, is just related to the Mirage Colloid invisibility effect that this kit, or that this Gundam can do. So that is what that is for. So you can open that up like that, pretty cool. And otherwise, this shoulder armor will move up like that on its own. These separate little red parts in there, as cool as they are, and they're staying in there fine for me, but just in case, those two, you might want to put a little bit of glue, just in case, because it's such a tiny little red part in there. If that were to fall out, it'd be a shame if that were to be lost. But ultimately, you can only get the arm up to about there, so a little bit more than 90 degrees, but not really too much upward movement here in the shoulder, unfortunately. Otherwise, the arm is going to be pretty standard. Rotation there at the top, double joint in the elbow, giving you a nice full bend there. Then the wrist is just on a ball joint, and the thumb is also on a ball joint, and as we saw earlier, the fingers are just swappable fingers. In the stomach section, we can bend back a little bit like so, and then you have a pretty nice stomach crunch forward like that. I can see my little yellow triangle sticker is moving away from his spot. You also have a pretty good side-to-side bend here as well. Over to the side like that, and to the other side like that. There you go, and then of course some rotation there as well. For the skirt armor, those can lift up to about 90 degrees depending on your position of the torso there, it seems like. The side skirts can also move up and down like that, and now I'm not having any trouble with this little red piece on there, but I've heard some other people had that also falling out kind of easily, so if you are experiencing this falling out, again, just a little drop of glue on there to make sure that that stays in place as well. It's a little bit loose. And then around here on the back skirts, that will also move a little bit up and down like so. Again, I just like the little bits of gray frame poking out on all these parts. It does look really nice, and it also really helps to break up the black, so it's just not just solid black. The hip joint is on a track, so that can be slid a little bit forward like that, so that'll give you extra movement upwards for your leg to get it for a higher kick, or if you wanted to do like a kneeling pose, is always a little bit easier when you have that style of hip joint. But as you can see, our knee bend is also very nice. You have a nice full 180 degree knee bend there, and nice separation of this armor piece there for the knee. Again, this tiny little red piece there at the base of the knee, might want to put a little bit of glue on that just in case if that falls out, because it's not really held in there very securely, so just a little drop of glue to make sure that that doesn't go anywhere. Close that knee back up, and just the whole styling here on the legs looks fantastic. This part here at the front of the ankle armor moves a little tiny bit, but not really all that much up and down. These bits here on the side, they also move up and down a little bit like that, basically just to get out of the way if you're moving the ankle side to side. This part here on the back of the foot has this little thing that folds out, and I haven't seen anything in the manual or in the pictures in the manual. There's nothing it says about this part. It does that, but I don't really know what that's for. It's just like a kind of knife, like sort of kicking thing, sort of like the crossbone, but it's just like barely sticking out, so I don't know. I don't remember from the anime if that's something that ever appeared or was ever used in the anime, but you got this extra little knife pit there that folds out at the back of the foot there. But for the ankles, you can move that a little bit to the side like that, a little bit to that side, so the side to side movement, not too bad. Forward movement of the foot is not going to be all that much because it's blocked by that part there at the front, but backwards movement is pretty good, and you do have some toe bend here forward and back, so you can point that down a little bit for a pretty good pointed toe there up underneath the feet. Some nice detail there as well. And just for a quick comparison, here it is compared with the Master Grade Dynamace. As you can see, it's just going to be pretty standard Master Grade size here, nothing too big, nothing too small. But alright, so basically what we have here is just a really nice, good, solid Master Grade. Now, I mean solid in that overall the kit is very good. As we saw, there are a few bits where I would recommend just using a little bit of glue, but otherwise the kit is fine. The articulation is good, the part separation is really good, especially for helping to break up the very black color scheme of this. The little bits of gray, red, and lavender work fantastic on this, even just straight out of the box if you were just to do a little bit of panel lining on those areas, just to bring out the detail. Now, of course, with black, panel lining in black is not really going to work, so people do different things. You can panel line in a lighter color, like a light gray or something like that. That works. Personally, I don't like to do that. If you really wanted to bring out the details in a black kit, what I would maybe recommend is just trying a little bit of very, very faint dry brushing on that. But it depends on the look you're going for. I mean, you can try out different techniques. There's different ways to do that. But then, of course, aside from the base kit itself, you have some really cool weapons and accessories that are very versatile. You have the shield, which also has the beam saber, which also acts as a beam rifle, which also has the spear bits in there as well. And then you have the grapple hook claw weapon there as well, which also is pretty cool as just a thing attached onto its arm that you can sort of just use a melee weapon like that, or actually having it flying out and just drilling into someone, or with the claw thing attached onto a different mobile suit. It's really cool, the different things that you can do with different weapons in this, so you don't like have a ton of accessories, basically just have the shield and the grapple hook, but you have a lot of different things that you can do with those, so it's really cool. It's a very versatile set of weapons there. And with this kit only coming in at the list price of 4,000 yen, very affordable too, very, very worth the price for this. But as always, guys, if you do have any other further questions or comments, do feel free to leave those down below. That's pretty much it for me for this review. I thoroughly enjoyed this kit, and I was really happy to finally get the chance to build it after such a long wait. It was definitely worth the wait. Despite this kit coming out in 2012, it really didn't feel dated at all, so definitely a fun kit. Check it out if you're a fan of the design. And again, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.